guys, it's Kimberly Thornton with HeIsReal.com, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to improve on some of your acting skills. We're going to talk about 5 techniques that you can just go ahead and enhance right now. The first thing, and I know some of this may sound trivial, but it's just something that I think a lot of people just don't normally think about. But the first one is really read your script. In fact, everyone I have ever heard and anyone I've ever worked with, they suggest that you know your script backwards and forwards. You got to know what every character is going to say, because there are times that you're going to have to react, and you're also going to have to listen, which we'll talk about that in just a minute. But you need to know it so you'll know how to put yourself in that moment. And that's another one. Listening. You know, when a character is saying something, you don't want to be thinking about your next line. You want to be involved in what they're saying. You got to understand, this is a conversation. This is not something you just, read and can really bring it. I mean, you have to be able to get these words off the page, and they have to know what you're saying. The more believable you are, the better. Here's another one. Be brave. Don't be so quick to just say your words and zip through it. Like, ooh, look, I know my lines. For instance, I'm going to read this. Be brave. The quickest way to improve your acting is to realize that the first choice and will usually be the easiest one for you to do. Okay, no, you want to be able to say it. Like, you know what? Be brave. The quickest way to improve on your acting is to realize that your first choice may not always be the first one that you do, because it'll be too easy. So you want to make sure that you're giving the lines the conversation that you need, okay? Also, you want to, especially when you're starting out, you want to put the people in those positions who already know what to do. So that's based on their personality. Later on, we'll talk about some tips and techniques that will help you guys develop beyond your personality, that you can find and stretch and reach, and well, we'll get into that. Another thing is to breathe. When I started out in acting classes, we learned breathing techniques simply for 15 seconds, inhaling, and then for about 30, exhaling. We're talking every bit of breath out of your lungs. And what this does is this helps your heart rate slow down, gives you just some really good clarity, oxygen to your brain, anything that you need, because you don't want to be frustrated and really, really tense. Like, for instance, even for me, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. I always have tension in my body, even if I know it backwards and forwards. But I've learned how to put my tension down at the bottom of my feet. And the reason is, no one really notices that. But they'll notice it if your shoulders are up, or they'll notice it if your hand is squeezed, or notice it if it's in your face. So you really just want to be able to learn where to, throw your attention. And again, we'll go through some exercises as we continue these series to really, really help you. Okay, and here's another one that may or may not be just so obvious, but be on time. If you have rehearsal, if you have an audition, if you're getting ready to perform, whatever it is, you make sure that you clear your schedule so that you could be there in plenty of time. Because what happens is, if we're in rush hour traffic, we couldn't find a parking space, we may need to leave an hour to 30 minutes to an hour ahead of time just to get there. So I have all this time. Well, you really will be able to take that time to prepare. So you always want to be professional, especially if we're doing this as a ministry. We've got to do everything with integrity and excellence. So I hope that helps somebody. And you guys feel free to leave a comment. And if you have any ideas of some other things that you'd like to know about, let me know. Leave a comment. Take care.